Warning, opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. If you do not agree with them, then go into the comments and let me know your favorite and least favorite minigames. Also, let me know why you enjoy your favorites and why you dislike your least favorites. Let's get a discussion going on down in the comments below. In this list, I will not be including any of the 4-player team minigames that you play in the river survival mode, and I will not be including any of the rhythm games that you can play in the rhythm mode. Now with that being said, let's rank all of the Super Mario Party minigames from worst to best. At number 60 is Rumble Fishing. Now Rumble Fishing could have been a really good game had they integrated multiple rounds or something of that nature, but the fact that it's only one round and you're just sitting there waiting for the biggest rumble, it just makes me groan internally every time it comes up. Number 59 is Look Sharp. While I like Look Sharp as a concept, the one thing that really holds it back is the fact that there's only 3 different characters and only 3 rounds. So you're going to get the same 3 characters every round, and if you just memorize where you have to zoom in for each character, it's just so easy. So if they had more variety, this would be way higher up. At number 58 is Lost in the Shuffle. Now Lost in the Shuffle is another minigame where it suffers from only being 1 round, whereas if it was 2 or 3 rounds, it would be so much better. But the fact that it's only 1 round makes it so bland and boring, and it just makes it feel like a waste of time. So that's why it's so low on the list. At number 57, it's Croozin for a Broozin. Now when it comes to luck-based minigames, I usually don't mind them that much, but the fact where it's just basically you can just run in a straight line for the entire time and still win, it's boring because it's only a 1 in 2 chance each time, and more likely than not, you're going to make the right choice. And if you don't make the right choice, so long as you go around the curves perfectly fine, you'll be fine until the very end. So it's just not fun. At number 56, and maybe a controversial one, is Don't Wake Wiggler. Now I know that when Super Mario Party came out, a lot of people liked Don't Wake Wiggler, but as I've played this game more and more, I've just realized that Don't Wake Wiggler just doesn't seem fun to me anymore. The reason is because at the beginning, everybody can pet him all 5 times, and then from there, it's just luck. Rather than it being something along the lines of he can be pet anywhere from like 10 to 40 times, it feels more like a thing where he can be pet anywhere between 30 and 35 times, and you're just trying to make sure you're not that one in the middle of that. Instead of something where it's a much wider margin and you have to be careful. If it was something like that where you had to be more careful, it would be so much higher on the list. But the fact that everybody can just play carefree at the very beginning, it's just not fun for that reason. At number 55 is Metal Detectors. Metal Detectors is the first of the coin collecting minigames. The reason it is the lowest coin minigame here on the list is because the pokies that are roaming around just aren't a big enough obstacle, in my opinion, to make you lose coins if you mess up. Rather than the other coin minigames give you a little bit of a steeper punishment. So for that reason, it is the lowest coin minigame. Following that up at number 54 is Follow the Money. Now Follow the Money is another coin collecting minigame, but it's the fact that there's a few more obstacles rather than Metal Detector, and there's even opportunities for you to fall off. Plus, there is also the fact that there's a little bit more strategy to it, whereas you can stay behind and get more money rather than just going straight forward and trying to collect all of the coins that are already on the field. So for that reason, it ranks just a little higher than Metal Detector. At number 53 is Just for Kicks. This minigame would be so good if they added like some items or some special powers. Now I get it's a small minigame, but if they just added some kind of weird twist to it, I feel it would make it so much better. But the fact that it's just soccer for a minute is just not that compelling compared to a whole lot other minigames. At number 52, we have Fuzzy Flight School. Now this minigame is fantastic in concept, but it is horrible in execution. Now I say that because you can basically just hover around the very bottom of the map the entire time and you will almost never get hit. Whereas the people who are actually trying to play and trying to go all around the screen and trying to avoid all of the fuzzies will probably die a whole lot faster than the people who just stay at the bottom and just avoid the fuzzies that are at the bottom. So for those reasons, it's at 52. At number 51, we have another coin game in Lightning Round. Now, Lightning Round may be a quick, short, 15-second minigame, but it's the fact that you have to run around this small arena collecting coins that everyone else is trying to collect, and the fact that you have lightning coming down and striking you and spreading all across the arena to slow you down and make you lose coins. It's just a whole lot better of a coin minigame than the other two, and that's why it's at 51. At number 50, I have Barreling Along. Now again, it's a fantastic game and concept, but in execution it is bad because so long as you are the person on the right side, you will always become first place. It's just not a good game unless you're the person on the right side. At 49, we have Timing is Money. This coin minigame is a pretty good game if you know your timing, but if you do not know your timing and it is off even by a little bit, you can lose all of your money in the span of a second. It's a pretty fun coin collecting minigame overall, and it's the second highest coin collecting game on my list. At number 48, we have Feeding Frenzy. In Feeding Frenzy, you have to swap between throwing into the fish's mouth on the bottom and the fish's mouth on the top. And all you have to do is swing your Joy-Con lighter or heavier depending on which fish's mouth you want to throw it into. And I really enjoy that concept, but the one thing that is flawed is the fact that sometimes it can pick up that you're throwing heavy when you're trying to throw light, and you're throwing light when you're trying to throw heavy. So unfortunately, that brings it down on my list a little bit. At number 47 is What a Racket. Now, whether you're on the 1-player side or the 3-player side, it is still a pretty good game overall to play. The one person gets a giant racket while the 3 people get 3 smaller rackets, and the objective is to hit the bombs on the other person's side to make them explode. I'd say overall it's a good minigame and a good segue to start getting into the more fun minigames. At number 46, we have Hammer and Sic Em. Now, Hammer and Sic Em is one of those games where you use your allies, and the main objective is to go to each of the main person's body and hit the balloons that are on top of their heads, while your allies are trying to protect you and go after their balloons as well. Overall, a good minigame. At number 45, we have Precision Gardening. Now, at first, Precision Gardening can be seen as one of those games where you just have to shake your Joy-Con really fast. But in fact, it's one of those mini games where you have to shake your Joy-Con in a perfect rhythm to get the full effect of getting to the finish. In the event that you're not really good at precision timing, you can just shake the thing as fast as possible to get almost the same result. At number 44, we have Trip Navigator. With this minigame, you have to run through a course with bananas spread all over the area, and you have to make sure that you don't slip on many bananas so you can make it to the center as fast as possible. The only downside is that there's really only like one course, so if you can memorize it for each of the different positions, you'll be able to make it to the center really fast. If they made a couple different courses, it would be a lot higher on the list, but the fact that there's only one course leaves it right here at number 44. At number 43 is Smash and Crab. Now, for Smash and Crab, you actually have 3 different objectives you can be doing. You could be the solo player that is avoiding the hammers, you can be the person that is controlling the crab, or you can be one of the people that is controlling one of the hammers that the crab is using. When you're the solo player, it's decently easy to stay in between the hammers of the crab, but if you have some pretty smart friends, or just computers that are on very hard or master, you'll have to really hone in on making sure that you don't get hit by those hammers. At number 42 is Pull It Together. Because of the Joy-Con's buttons being so small, it's not really comfortable to mash a button, and I love doing button mashing minigames, so it's really tough for me to put it so low on my list. But the fact that the controller is so small and you have to mash the button, it's just very uncomfortable. But it's a mashing game and I love it nonetheless. But for the fact that the controller is so small, I have to put it at number 42. At number 41 is Rattle and Hmmm. The objective of this minigame is to hold your Joy-Con in your hand and listen to the vibrations of each of the different characters. The drawback of this minigame is the fact that there's anywhere between 3 and 5 different rounds of characters, and that there's only 3 rounds, So if they had a couple more, it would be a little higher up on the list. At number 40 is Drop Shot. If you're the one player, you're trying to time your shots and time your accuracy to the characters that are climbing on the wall to hit them with bombs. If you're the three, you're trying to climb on the walls and trying to juke out the first person to make sure you do not get hit with those bombs. Overall, it is a pretty decently fair 1 vs 3 minigame. At number 39, we have Senseless Census. Senseless Census is a minigame where you have to go along a train and count all of the toads that are on the train. I like the idea of you having to move around to find all of the different toads, but if they added something rather than just toads, say you were counting anything else, just giving us different environments. Like we have to count Goombas, or we have to count Koopa Troopas, or Boos, or just different enemies, different things. So long as you just had to count different things, I think it'd be a lot better. At number 38, we have Half the Battle. Half the Battle is a minigame where you have to go around on one half of the area and try to collect half suns in order to pair them up with your teammate that is on the other side. Along with that, you will notice that throughout the minigame, there will be electric enemies that'll drop down and make it a little harder to maneuver around. And if you touch them, you lose all of the suns that you've collected, so now you have to go through and wait for more to respawn, and overall, it's a pretty good minigame. At number 37 is Heir to a Fortune. Heir to a Fortune is the final coin collecting minigame, however it is the most fun coin collecting minigame. Everybody starts on their own cloud and they have 3 options either in front of them, to the left of them, or to the right of them, and what they have to do is decide at the very beginning which one they want to go to, and if you're the only one that goes to that cloud, you will get the money. If anybody else goes to the same cloud as you, neither of you will get the money. I enjoy playing this minigame just to see how greedy my friends are whenever we play this, or how greedy the computers are. At number 36, we have Juice Box. Now, Juice Box is a minigame where each person on your team will get a left and a right side where you're trying to get the fruits on the left side and the fruits on the right side to match up with the same thing that is in the box on the left. It's a very interesting concept because you can find the fruit that you're looking for, like on the left side, but it may not match up with the ones on the right. So it's a thing where you really have to look and really pay attention to all these different things that are around you and find the right ones before the opponent finds it first. At number 35, we have Getting Over It with Bennett Fondy. Now, this game is a rage game where you have to get on the mountain and reach the moon. Wait. Wait a minute. It's Get Over It? Not Getting Over It? Oh, okay. Now, this is a minigame where you and your allies have to jump over these circular womp-thomp spiky things. I don't know the name of them. And through each cycle, the thing can either get faster, slower, coming from the different side, and it's just a fun minigame where the last one standing wins. At number 34 is Maths of Glory. Maths of Glory is a 2v2 minigame where you have to multiply 2 different numbers anywhere between 1 and 6, and the first person to reach 50, I believe, will knock down the other person's tower and will win. The reason this is probably higher up than it should be is just because I love math. Number 33 is Sphere Mongers. Now, Sphere Mongers is a game where you're all starting in your own corners in UFOs, and you have to go into the center of the area and collect the most balls to bring back to your area. And there are golden balls which give you extra points, and you can even knock out balls from other people's magnetic grips by bumping into them, especially if you have balls of your own. So it's not necessarily just a get in there and get out, it's also a little bit of a strategy minigame where you want to try to knock out the balls from under everybody else. At number 32 is Off the Chain. Now, Off the Chain is a 1 vs 3 minigame where one person is on a chain chomp and the other 3 people are trying to run away from said person on the chain chomp. The chain chomp controls pretty okay. The one thing that's a little hard to deal with it is he likes to slide as you're going across the arena. But if you can learn to control that and twist it into your own way, it can become very convenient to try to get the other players. And as a 3, so long as you can try to juke around the person and try to read where he's going to move that chain chomp, you'll be fine. At number 31 is Social Climbers. Social Climbers is a minigame where you're basically just swinging your controller as fast as you can, but there is a technique out there, and I don't know how to do it, where if you swing it the right way or if you swing it hard enough, where you'll climb a lot higher but a little slower, whereas if you're just shaking it while you're pressing the button, you'll be climbing up faster and faster. I don't know which way is the best way to go about this, but from my experience, just doing it as fast as you can is the better way. At number 30, we have Candy Shakedown. While Candy Shakedown is another one of those shaking your Joy-Con minigames, it's one of those where you have to shake it meticulously to get all the different candies out, especially those ones that just never want to leave your goddamn jar. Even though there are times like that and it can be a little frustrating, it's still overall a pretty good mini. At number 29, we have Looking for Love. Looking for Love is one of those pretty easy to understand mini games. In this one, all you have to do is press the corresponding button to find the heart-shaped icon. So long as you have really good reflexes, this game's for you. At number 28, we have Train in Pain. In this ally minigame, everybody is in their own trains with their allies behind them. All you have to do is punch the allies from behind each player and then get behind them and punch them out. It's really enjoyable to watch people go around each other for about 15 seconds until one of them finally decides to change their route, and then they're probably the ones that end up dying in the process. At number 27, we have Block and Load. Block and Load is a 1 vs 3 minigame where the 3 players have small cannons trying to shoot down this fortress, and the 1 player has a bigger cannon trying to shoot down the same fortress while only being able to shoot every so often. This is probably one of the most fair 1 vs 3 minigames in this game. At number 26, we have It's the Pits. It's the Pits is a pretty enjoyable ally game where you're trying to make sure that you're not on the panel that is lit up when the countdown hits 0. Watching everybody scramble around and trying to make sure that they don't fall into the hole is pretty enjoyable to watch. At number 25 is Sign, Steal, Deliver. In this 1 vs 3 minigame, the 3 are trying to go up the building and collect boxes to bring down to their side, while the 1 person has a drone that they're driving around, also trying to do the same with their side. With that drone, you can also steal the 3 players' boxes from their hands, and it's always fun to steal them as the 1 and cause a lot of havoc for the 3. At number 24 is Drop Quiz. Drop Quiz is a memorization game where the 3 have to watch this screen and memorize what goes on, while the 1 gets to choose a question for them to then answer. As the 1, it is always fun to ask the questions that get the 3 confused, and as the 3, it is always fun to just run around and try to figure out if anyone was paying attention enough to figure out if they know the answer. At number 23, we have Trike Harder. Trike Harder is a really fun minigame where you're rotating your Joy-Con as if you're pedaling a bike. The only downside is the fact that the controller is so small. Had the controller been like maybe 2 or 3 inches longer, it would be so much better and probably be a little higher on the list. At number 22, we have Pie Hard. Pie Hard is a 2v2 minigame where each team has to go to the stands next to them and grab pies and throw them at each other. It's always funny running around and throwing pies at each other, and also getting the cream on each other. Yes! At number 21, we have Lit Potato. Lit Potato is basically hot potato, but it causes a lot of havoc when you have anywhere between 10 and 16 characters throwing around bombs like they just don't care. And you're praying to God that the character in front of you isn't holding onto a bomb while you have a bomb in your hands, or the character behind you doesn't decide to throw the bomb at you at the very last second. At number 20, we have Dash and Dine. With Dash and Dine, everyone is running around the kitchen crazily trying to find the ingredients to bring back to the chef so they can make the burgers, or whatever else they're trying to make. It's always fun running around this kitchen and trying to get in the way of other people while you're also trying to get the ingredients to bring back to your station. At number 19, we have Dart Gallery. Dart Gallery is a pretty good 1 vs 3 minigame where the 1 is trying to avoid the 3 while they're throwing darts at them. As the 3, it is always gratifying to block the 1 into a corner, and as the 1, it is always amazing to just barely dodge one of the darts that are being thrown at you. At number 18, we have Rowboat Uprising. This is another one of those ally minigames, but it's basically right or left if you remember that from Mario Party 4 2.0. I think Rowboat Uprising is a whole lot better than right or left, mainly because it's a lot quicker, and you feel like you have a little bit more control on where the boat is going. At number 17, we have Absent Minded. Now, Absent Minded is really cool in the way that you have to find the character from the bottom that isn't in the top. Now, the way they make you do this is really cool because sometimes they'll have the character models like scattered all across the screen, or sometimes they'll even have like the character models pop in and out for like a millisecond, and you really got to pay attention to find which one isn't there. At number 16, it's Snack Attack. Snack Attack is basically Coney Island from Mario Party 5, and that's not a bad thing. It's really satisfying to get under one of those spots where it has like 10 different popcorn raining down on top of you, and it's also really satisfying to watch somebody else get completely destroyed by a meteor and losing half of their popcorn. At number 15, we have Fruit Forecast. Fruit Forecast is a 2v2 minigame where each team is diagonal from each other trying to collect the fruit that the other team does not. When you're the teammate on top, it feels really good taking the fruit away from the people that are on the bottom, and when you're on the bottom, it feels so good snatching up the fruit that the person on the top could not catch. At number 14, we have Dust Buddies. When it comes to Dust Buddies, something that I like to always do, whether I'm on the 1 or on the 3, is to immediately head to the center and cut off the other team from getting that part of the dust and then going back so you can get all the stuff that's behind you. If you can do that, you will always succeed. At number 13, we have Nutcases. Nutcases is a 2v2 minigame where you have to go up to the boxes in the middle, grab them, and there will be nuts inside of them. The more intense the rumble is in your Joy-Con, the more nuts are in the box. Making sure you have the most nuts is always the best. At number 12, we have Can Take Pancake. Can Take Pancake is a game where you have to grab all the pancakes and bring them to your plate. But the catch is you can only take the ones that are on the top. You cannot grab any of them that are on the bottom until you have removed the ones on the top. This one can create a lot of yelling if you're with your friends, cause you can always steal the star ones that are worth more points from right under their skin. At number 11 is Tall Order. Tall Order is a 2v2 minigame where you have to work together to use your limited supply of ice to create the tallest tower. It takes a lot of timing and strategy to get the tower the way you want it, but as soon as you figure out that pattern and that timing, it feels so satisfying making the tallest tower. At number 10, it is Soak or Croak. In Soak or Croak, all you have to do is fill up the water in your water gun and shoot it at your opponents. Make sure you shoot them while they're at the edge, otherwise they're going to come back for you because you will not get them out. At number 9, it is Gridiron Gauntlet. Gridiron Gauntlet is a really fun minigame where you have to avoid the charge and chucks that come from all 3 of the sides that aren't where the camera is. After 15 seconds, it gets so insane to the point where you will be lucky if you do not get hit at least once before the game ends. At number 8, we have our final 1 vs 3 minigame in Bopping Spree. Bopping Spree has the 1 person inside of the boppers while it has the 3 people outside of the boppers. I think it's a really cool dynamic to have the 1 person on the inside while you have the 3 on the outside, because the games, so long as the 3 are communicating, are always close games. At number 7, we have Making Faces. It's basically 2v2 facelift. I mean, that's all I gotta say, right? At number 6, but for real, it's really cool to have a 2v2 facelift where you have to use your teammate and you have 1 person going up and down and 1 person going left and right, to where you have to put the face features on the face correctly, and if you're even off slightly, it just looks absolutely hilarious. At number 6, we have Bumper Brawl. Bumper Brawl is basically a souped up Bumper Balls, and it is so much fun to be able to charge your shots to hit the opponents. And well, hey, at least in this game, you don't always end up in draws, am I right? At number 5, we have Stake Your Claim. Now, Stake Your Claim is really interesting in where you have these 4 separate pieces, and they are all made up of little tiny squares, and the one that has the most is the one that gives you the most points. But sometimes it just looks like they're all the same and you're just taking a guess. But that's what makes it so fun, because you think you got it, and then it turns out you got the one that gives you the least points, and it really makes you think and look at it to figure out which one has the most. At number 4, we have Perfect Fit. Perfect Fit is a minigame where you have to work with your teammate and rotate your Joy-Con in such a way that your piece will fit with your teammate's piece. This is one of those minigames that I always have fun with, and if me or my teammate mess up, it's always a good time just yelling at each other, trying to figure out which one of us is really messing up and which one of us is just being stupid. At number 3, we have Slapperazzi. Now, I know a lot of people have Slapperazzi as their number 1, but for me, there are 2 games that just stand out a whole lot more than Slapperazzi. I will say that it is a very fun game, and it is very investing knowing that you have to stay in there for 7 rounds, and you get to slap the living crap out of each other, making sure you are the center of attention in every single photo. This is definitely one of the best Mario Party minigames ever to be out there, and if they ever do make a top 100 that isn't the one that they already made, this would be a really good addition to put into that. At number 2, we have the last 4-player minigame in Sizzling Steaks. Sizzling Steaks is always really fun whenever it is brought up in the boards. The main objective is to get all 6 of the sides for your steak cooked. And it's so much fun knowing that you get to sit there with your Joy-Con out and you get to like flip it as if you're flipping the steak in your pan. But one of the most enjoyable things is to watch a person have 5 sides cooked, go to flip for that last one, and then just have that steak completely fly out of their pan and having them to start over when all they had to do was like flip it lightly, and they flip it hard just to like be for style, and it completely messes them up. Those moments will always be the best that I have with this game. But finally, number 1 is Toe the Line. Toe the Line is without a doubt in my mind the best minigame for Super Mario Party. It requires a lot of teamwork, a lot of concentration, and just for you to understand all the different intricate parts that go into this. This minigame will always come with a lot of screaming back and forth with one another, and always somebody tugging the other person around trying to get to the right spots when the other one just doesn't understand how it's working. And because it is so much fun, I just have to put it at number 1. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed my list and the video in general, please consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell, while also leaving a like because it helps so much knowing that people enjoy my content. Also, if you made it this far into the video and you're going to leave a comment down below, leave a booyah at the end of your comment so I can shout a couple of you guys out the next time that I do one of these lists. Also, if you enjoy other gaming stuff, please consider checking out some of the other videos on my channel. While I only have really Call of Duty stuff on my channel right now, hopefully soon I'll be able to branch out and bring you more Nintendo stuff and just other stuff in general. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.